how did you come to decide to settling in Zimbabwe instead of Jamaica? Especially Zim being in an economically challenging time.
My heart, not because of the question.
Can you speak Shona now?
People say Zira. China. I'm planning to visit Africa. Do you recommend I get a vaccine? If yes, which one? As a Jamaican to another Jamaican. If you plan to visit any country in Africa, you have to look on the specific country requirements and then see which vaccines they recommend. It's been difficult. People would speak in Shona and they're like unable to respond, and I respond in English. The reception wouldn't usually be that good because people assume you're Zimbabwean, but you're being bushy.
I'm trying to be as candid as I can.
Yeah.
So for you have to be very adaptable to various situations if you're going to be operating business in Zimbabwe.
So you're saying my cultural mistake was just not understanding culture?
You'd want to ask things that I don't have answers to.
Hi guys. I know we've been away for a very long time, but we're here now.
I'm sure you're not getting used to these excuses, but we're trying to do better.
And thank you guys for still sticking with us. We're not full-time YouTubers, so we still have jobs. So we're still trying to balance, but please keep tuning in, watch the videos that you haven't seen before, and just stick with us. We promise that we're gonna keep improving. Just stay with us.
And if you want to watch or get more great content from us, please do click that subscribe button, and also remember to click on that bell.
Yeah, turn on the notification bell.
That will also motivate us to make, more videos. So
the last time we posted on the community, thank you so much for everyone who responded back. Can you open your phone? Let's see the questions. We had asked for you guys to just ask some questions, things that you want us to answer. And I think we got 5 or so.
Yeah, 5 or 6 questions.
So we're going to go through them and answer them one by one as best as we can. The first one was from @ShellyK's5120. What work do you both do? So I'm a medical doctor. So that's what I do. I work as a medical doctor here in Zimbabwe. Before that, I actually trained as a physiotherapist, but I never even worked as a physio. I'm a doctor.
Yeah, and I'm a business person. I trained as an economist, but I'm a business person.
So let me get that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm a business person.
Yeah, so that's what we do in Zimbabwe.
And we're also YouTubers.
I have a side hustle. I paint. For you guys who know more about me, I'm very artistic. So I like painting, I like singing, I play the guitar. So in Zimbabwe, I also have a side hustle. It's called Dr. Deb's Sip and Paint. So I basically host private sip and paint events at my client's preferred location. So that's a side hustle that I have here.
Okay, then the second question is from Charles Simango 485. He says, to the Megabush family, Dumela Makadi, hello. Hello, Charles, how are you?
Makadi Charles.
What a blessed year. My question, do you have plans to travel and create more content in Africa, or it's just in Zimbabwe?
Yeah. We do have plans. We actually want to travel more of Zimbabwe and other countries in Zimbabwe. Other countries in Africa. But YouTube has to be, as rewarding as it needs to be for us to be able to do that. Otherwise, we have to prioritize our day jobs. So, but once we get to that level, we'll definitely grow the channel, and our hope is to visit more places in Zimbabwe, showcase Zimbabwe until nothing else not left for sure, and then also, showcase the neighboring countries and just expand that.
So for me, I would say definitely Zimbabwe is priority. To first get into all the pockets of Zimbabwe. After we're done with that, hopefully Africa, and I hope with your support, You can, by just liking, subscribing, and sharing.
Just subscribe and turn on your notification
bell.
Yeah.
That will help us to also travel. But yes, to answer that, we do plan on traveling Zimbabwe. We do plan on traveling Africa, and just trying to share it from our lens. I know a lot of other YouTubers are doing it, but we just want to also try and share it from our lens.
Amoy Crosby. Hi, Amoy. I know you not in person, but I know of you because you comment so much. So thanks for always watching. Thanks for commenting.
Thanks, Amoy.
Amoy says, hello to my Jamaican sister and her family. So she's also Jamaican. Oh, may I talk to you in English. Welcome, Amoy. Thanks for watching and subscribing, girl. So it says, I hope you're all doing wonderful. My question for you is, if I'm planning to visit Africa, do you recommend I get a vaccine? If yes, which one? Right, Amoy. So, as a Jamaican to another Jamaican, if you plan to visit any country in Africa, you have to look on the specific country requirements and then see which vaccines they recommend. Like, for example, when we did go Ghana, them say we need to get a yellow fever vaccine. And I believe from SA going to Ghana, they actually asked us to show them, or else they needed to make us board the plane. So I'd advise you look at the specific country requirement and then get the vaccines that they recommend. If it's a country where I have no specific requirement, like Zimbabwe, I don't think Zimbabwe required any vaccine for travel, if you remember correctly. But some people recommend getting a malaria vaccine because malaria more prevalent here than it would be in Jamaica. So if it's Zimbabwe, yes, I'd recommend the malaria one. Ghana, I know there's yellow fever. Then what else? Yeah, I don't know. Girl, Google.
I'm not going to comment on this one. I'm not a doctor. Should be the best to
Google and then just
advise you.
Because vaccine and by force, right? So just check the specific country requirements, whichever country you're planning to go to. South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, Zimbabwe. Just check the vaccine requirements.
Tanzania, Botswana, Kenya.
Whatever the requirements are for you for entry, just try to follow that and you're good.
Okay. Mimi K8450 asks, how did you come to decide to settling in Zimbabwe instead of Jamaica? Especially Zim being in an economically challenging time.
My heart, not because of the question. The place generally hot. Okay. We've gotten that question a lot, right, babe?
Yes.
People tend to ask, why would you come to Zim when Jamaica is an option for you to stay? So the thing is, when we met, I was early in my medical school training and he was completing his training. So he came back to Zimbabwe. 4 years of relationship was long distance. After that, I was still in school. He was here. And while he was in Zimbabwe, he was doing groundwork, trying to set up his own business. Most people in Zimbabwe are entrepreneurs because of the economic environment. And that's what he ended up doing, even though he's a trained economist, right? So he had that 4 years to establish his business. And I just had finished med school. And so it made financial sense rather than both of us uprooting and going to Jamaica and trying to both find jobs and settle in. Why wouldn't I come to Zimbabwe where he's already kind of put down roots and would be able to buffer us while I transition? That's why we came to Zim. But we're not limited to Zim, right?
We're not, right?
We're not.
So we're open. So yeah, just watch the space. One day you'll find us in another location. Might not be only Jamaica, maybe some other, maybe even in a country you're in. So please do comment and tell us where you are and if you'd like us to move to your country.
The world is our oyster.
Yeah.
We'll just see how things play out in Zimbabwe. If things are tough, too tough, we'll see.
Miss Edwards 953. This is not a question, but I would love to see more collaborations with Miss Trudy and Mrs. Megabush. I think you told me this one.
Mimi, who was it? Shout out Miss Edwards. Yeah, okay, Trudy, you hear Miss Edwards say? Trudy and I talk often enough. We catch up on WhatsApp. But it's kind of difficult because I'm here in Zim, Trudy's in Kenya, between Kenya and Ghana, and yeah, we're worlds apart. But I'm sure, like I said, as the brand grows, as the channel grows, and we have the capacity to do those collabs, we'll definitely do them. All right. What you need to do is share our videos and watch so that the channel can grow big enough and provide enough income that can sustain the things you guys want to see.
And soon, watch out with a Mega Bush or the Maya / Miss Trudy collab where all of us
one day
are in one place. We're definitely hoping that will materialize one day. I'm sure people would enjoy that. So, next question from Monashe Mark. Monashe Mark asks, Miss Megabush, can you speak Shona now?
Hey, Dr. and Shona. Dr. and Shona, man.
I'm fluent in Mrs. Megabush.
Njikudzizira. Buchana.
I think
it's got to learn to speak to my patients, if someone comes, Makadi, go.
But how are you finding the Shona language? Is it difficult for you? And what challenges have you faced? What challenges have you faced in trying to?
Look, the language is difficult, but it's not as difficult as learning Chinese. And I had to learn Chinese, so comparing it to Chinese, it's definitely not as difficult, but still difficult. It's a language I was never exposed to before. Even Chinese, you kind of hear at some point. Growing up in Jamaica, you have no idea about what you know of the language. Shona was completely foreign. I didn't even know the language existed before. So I've had to learn it, and it's been difficult. Nowadays it's easier because I've been here for longer. But I remember initially Zimbabweans, not everyone, but people would speak in Shona and then I'd be unable to respond, and I'd respond in English. Especially in the work environment, the reception wouldn't usually be that good because people assume you're Zimbabwean, but you're being bougie or you're being, what's the word, snobbish. Yet I'm just not Zimbabwean and I had no clue how to speak the language. So that was a difficult time. But I'm in a better space now. I can hear more Shona and I'm learning to speak. So bit by bit. Whoa! This is a loaded question. Right. This is from Norma Legister 3786. Norma says, how efficient are the general services and for day-to-day living in Zimbabwe? And what is the business climate like? What was the one big cultural mistake made after moving to a new country? So, Norma. Yeah.
This is a tricky one.
It's like 3 questions. So first question, how efficient are the general services and for day-to-day living? I think I'd rather answer this over him because he's used to Zimbabwe. So he's used to what the general services are. That's normal for him.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, for me, it's not normal. I'm used to general services delivering a certain level of efficiency. So it would be different for me. For example, things like there's this one time I did a purchase at the supermarket with my card, and then the purchase didn't go through, but on my end, it was deducted from the account. And then the supermarket was like, well, we haven't received the money, so we're not giving you the groceries. And I'm like, so I just got paid and I need groceries for home. I'm leaving the supermarket without groceries and without money in my account. How does that work? And trying to resolve that was so tedious. That's stuff I'm not used to. So definitely general services and some maybe even like food chains, food restaurants. People are not used to you holding them accountable to like the quality of service delivery. Like if I order something and I was specific about it and you bring me something else, I'm entitled to tell you no, this is not what I've ordered. I like something else. I think, yeah, I don't know. I think the services are generally, they could be better. I'll put it that way. Zimbabwe has a better like Uber drive system, the in-drive and
Mobile
ordering
money.
things, mobile money.
Yeah, in Jamaica, comparing with Jamaica, that is. But
It's not
most
like
most of the other African countries actually have those. But like if you go to Ghana, they've got. But I think they're even like a bit better than into their delivery than what we do here is in. But
So to answer your question, Norma, how efficient are the general services? And for day-to-day living, not very efficient. That's the truth. This is a third world country. Like most, if you went to Jamaica, Jamaicans would tell you the same thing. General services are just not very efficient. That's the truth.
yeah.
But we work with it as best as we can. Then the second question was, and what is the business climate in Zimbabwe? I'm not into business. So I think we can better answer.
Well, the business climate in Zimbabwe is, should I say, it's shaky. If I'm to be honest, current government is trying to put in some measures to settle it, but all the same, it's still very shaky, very unpredictable. To answer that in one word, I would say unpredictable. So
and let's be honest about it. Business needs a bit of projection and a bit of predictability. So
I'm trying to be as candid as I can.
Yeah.
So for you have to be very adaptable to various situations if you're going to be operating business in Zimbabwe. So I'll say you really need to be adaptable, be a chameleon.
Mm-hmm. And adjust be able to adjust to change really quickly.
Really quickly, yeah.
The other part, what was the one big cultural mistake after moving to a new country? What do you think my big cultural mistake was? I mean, you're the one, it's your culture. You should tell me what the mistake was.
I think to think maybe you didn't realize that some things were actually just culture, and culture is what it is.
So that's vague, babe. What do you mean?
To say there are some things we do because they're culture, and sometimes we might not be able to really explain why. You might want an explanation to the T, but I might not be able, or anyone else might not be able to explain to you. But that's what culture is. That's what makes our norms, and that's what differentiates us.
I guess.
So sometimes, yeah, that. Yeah.
So you're saying my cultural mistake was just not understanding culture, basically. I'd agree with you.
You'd want to ask things that I don't have answers to.
It's like Western folk, people like to look at it as if we're cultureless or whatever. We all had like culture and a heritage that our grandparents and so on would ascribe to. But over time, as we modernize, a lot of things fall away. But what I couldn't understand, I guess, and what you're saying is, for me, things have to have like an explanation or a meaning. And I feel like if there's something that's practiced in a culture, there's a reason why it started. And at every given point in your evolution as a society, you can reassess and see the utility of that practice at that point in time. So that's how I think. But then that's not, by virtue of me thinking that's me being culturalist, right?
Yeah.
Because culture.
So maybe one thing would be that for me, I'm okay if visitors just come unannounced, but she wants visitors. She would prefer.
Guys, I have a busy schedule.
Yeah, so
if I'm post call, if I was on call yesterday and someone rocks up right after I've gotten home from call after a 24-hour shift, I'd obviously prefer you had called and then I would tell you, no, come the next day or 2 days later. So yeah.
What country would you want to go to outside of Africa?
What country would you want to go to outside of Africa? For me, that's India. I have a lot of friends in India and I really hope to go visit them soon. And just get to see their culture. Yeah.
For me, I think it would be Vietnam. I think they say it's cheap, but it's a nice place with a lot of scenic places and cultural significant places. So I think for me it would be Vietnam.
Vietnam.
Yes.
You guys did say outside of Africa.
Yeah. So
last one.
Yeah, the last one. Just Tendai.
Just Tendai. Hello, Megabish family. What advice would you give someone moving back to Zim in 2025? And 2, for Mrs. Megabush, how have you found building friendships in Zim as a foreigner? And 3, how are you finding practicing medicine in Zim? So you guys have a lot of questions. Let me try to attack it quickly because we're going to have some noise short. What advice would you give someone moving back to Zim in 2025?
Do your research.
Yeah, visit and go home, visit, go home. Yeah. Do it gently, slowly, and gradually.
Soft landing.
Yeah, soft landing. Don't just come because there's a lot you need to adapt to, and it depends on where you're moving from. How have you found building friendships in Zim as a foreigner? It's been fine. I've built friendships, and most people are quite welcoming, especially when they find out that I'm actually not Zimbabwean. Whatever apprehensions they had before, because I'm speaking to them in English, it drops. And then people are curious to know more about me. Why am I here? And I'm generally very open and sociable, so it's easy. And then the last one, how are you finding practicing medicine in Zim? Well, there you have it. The noise is here.
So, yeah.
You won't be able to hear my answer, sadly.
We have to end it right here, but thanks a lot for tuning in.
But guys, I'll try to give an answer to that question in a video. I'll do a whole video to answer that question. Okay? There's a lot of noise. We need to go tend to what's happening outside. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any more questions, you can always feel free to just address them at some point. And please guys, subscribe, share, turn on the notification bell. Yeah. And what else? What else do we want?